Oh, am I on air? Yeah. Okay, sorry everybody. We're looking for something and didn't realize it's already time for NACTV's Bigger Bingo Live for Wednesday, January 10th, 2024. And before we get started on the bingo, here are our rules. Our license number is LGCA 6052 MBI 35606. First rule, one ball will be drawn at the beginning of the session. This ball will be the tuning number for Game 3. Number 2, when bingo is declared on more than one number, only those who declared bingo on the earliest number called will be declared winners and eligible to win the prize. Number 3, each bingo game will be closed when a winner or winners have called in and their cards have been verified, and it has been announced 3 times that the phone lines are open to receive your calls and the game is declared closed. No further calls will be accepted with regards to that closed bingo game. Final win confirmation occurs when the winners present their date stamped sheet containing the winning card to NACTV Studio. Number 5, prize money is split evenly among multiple winners with a minimum payout of $25. Number 6, in the event of transmitting or telephone problems which prevent continuation of play prior to the event's start or at any time during the event's duration, the game will be rescheduled and resumed on the next Wednesday night. Players will keep their cards for the following Wednesday and they will be accepted. If a player is unable to play the following Wednesday, they may exchange their cards at NACTV Studio for a future game. Please check the NACTV.tv website or call the office for confirmation of those games to be played. Number 7, Game 1 is played to a blackout on the gold cards. Jackpot in 50 numbers or less is a minimum of $1,000. After 50 numbers, Game 1 continues to a blackout for a $100 consolation prize. Number 8, Games 2 and 3 are played on the colored cards, and tonight it's orange. Game 2, the X game, has $150 available to be won. Game 3, which continues on from Game 2, is a blackout. Jackpot in 52 numbers or less is a minimum of $500. After 52 numbers, Game 3 continues to a blackout for a $100 consolation prize. Number 9, if Game 3 is won with the tuning ball number drawn at the beginning of the session, the winner will receive either the jackpot or the consolation prize, as well as the tuning pot. And that's our rules. Good luck to everyone tonight. Enjoying your nice, warm, comfy homes, I hope. Okay, tuning number. Oh, tuning number is B1. Tonight's tuning number is B1. Don't play that one. It's going back in the blower, but it will become important later. Okay. Playing on your gold colored cards. Jackpot is $17,720. Looking for a blackout in 50 numbers or less. Your first number is under the N31. N31. Under the O63. O63. Under the I-19, I-19. Under the N45, N45. Under the N33, N33. Under the B14, B14. Under the B11, B11. Under the I20, I20. Under the I28, I28. Under the B5, B5. Under the I23, I23. Under the I26, I26. Under the N40, N40. Under the G60, G60. Under the G58, G58. Under the N41, N41. Under the O65, O65. Under the N43, N43. Under the N32, N32. Under the G59, G59. Under the O75, O75. Under the G48, G48. Under the I-25, I-25. Under the B10, B10. Under the B2, B2. Under the O66, O66. Under the O74, O74. Under the I-17, I-17. Under the N35, N35. Under the I-24, I-24. Under the N44, N44. Under the B13, B13. Under the G54, G54. Under the B1, B1. Under the I-22, I-22. Under the O73, O73. Under the B9, B9. Under the I-21, I-21. Under the B7, B7. Under the G53, G53. Under the G50, G50. Under the G51, G51. Under the N42, N42. Under the B4, B4. Under the N37, N37. Under the O72, O72. Under the O70, O70. Under the I27, I27. Under the B15, B15. Under the G56, G56. And that is your 50th number, so we'll pause here for 2.5 minutes, see if anybody calls in with a bingo. And I will show you the number in the hoop, but you can't call in on that number because it has not been called, so you cannot bingo on the one in the hoop. So both phone lines are open to receive your calls. And I'd just like to let our Westman viewers know, in case they don't, at least in the Nipawin area, because I'm in the Nipawin area, and I got this email that said, and this is from Westman, that throughout the week of January 15th to the 19th, that's next week, from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., they're going to be performing significant network upgrade in the area. Their goal is to keep service interruptions to a minimum. However, you may experience downtime for a few minutes at a time throughout the day on your internet services. And the reason I want the Westman viewers to note this is because it says between 8 and 5, so we should be good for bingo that night, but you might want to have some backup plan in mind in case you lose a signal or something. Shouldn't, because they're not supposed to be working on it after 5 o'clock, but you never know. And if you do have access to the internet, if your internet service is down, you won't have access unless you have a cell phone with a data plan. So I'm not entirely sure how you're supposed to head to their support page for real-time updates if it's not working. But anyways. Okay, phone lines are open to receive your calls. And for the third and final time, the phone lines are open to receive your calls. Not hearing any calls, I declare this game closed and we'll move on to the consolation round for $100. We're still playing on the gold-colored cards. And your next number is on those gold-colored cards under the G47. G47. Under the B6, B6. Under the G46, G46. Under the I30, I30. Under the G55, G55. Under the I16, I16. Under the G52, G52. Under the O69, O69. Under the B8, B8. Under the B12, B12. Under the N38, N38. Under the I29, I29. Under the G57, G57. And we do have a caller, and the call was coming through as I was calling, so chances are they bingled an earlier number. One number back. Okay, we have a valid bingo on I-29, one number back. I-29 is a valid bingo, one number back. And we have the other phone line busy. I-29 as well. Okay, another valid bingo on I-29. We now have 2 winners on I-29. One number back from the last one that I called. I-29. So after this game, yeah, I guess if you're a Westman player and you get a service interruption on your bingo next week, you can call Westman too. Okay, we have a phone line open to receive your calls. One phone line is open. Now I can start my timer. Okay, so we will be wrapping up game 1 shortly. And game 2 and 3 will be played on our orange colored cards. Game 2 is the letter X game. The prize is $150. Then we'll continue on those orange colored cards for a blackout of 52 numbers. And the jackpot on that one is $7,967. Our toonie pot is at $6,098. And we sold 116 cards last week. And the toonie pot number, just to remind you, the one that we drew at the beginning for the number, it was B1. So in the next game, we'll be looking for that B1, and hopefully it'll not show up in game 2 for the letter X game, but maybe in game 3 where you would have a chance to win that toonie pot of $6,098. Okay, we now have both phone lines open to receive your calls. Both phone lines are open to receive your calls. And we'll just wait for our timer to count down, about 45 seconds-ish. We have 2 winners so far on the Bonanza Consolation game, one we just played. Okay, for the third and final time, phone lines are open to receive your calls. Not hearing any further calls, I declare this game closed, and we will move on to the orange colored cards and the letter X. But first, our winners were, and congratulations goes to Rhonda Cutler of Neepwa, purchasing the winning card at Rocket Animal House, and Jim Pollock of Neepwa, purchasing the winning card at Kinsman Court 2, and they will split that $100 pot. Oops. Okay, I gotta put all the balls back in the hopper before we start the game. Okay, on those orange colored cards, looking for the letter X. As shown on your screen, the prize is $150, and your first number out is under the B11. B11. Under the I-27, I-27. Under the B13, B13. Under the G57, G57. Under the I22, I22. Under the I17, I17. Under the B6, B6. Under the O70, O70. Under the N39, N39. Under the I26, I26. Under the O63, O63. Under the G56, G56. Under the I20, I20. Under the B15, B15. Under the O74, O74. Under the G55, G55. Under the O69, O69. Under the N40, N40. Under the B2, B2. Under the N37, N37. Under the O67, O67. Under the B12, B12. Under the N31, N31. Under the N36, N36. Under the N38, N38. Under the B14, B14. Under the I-19, I-19. Under the B8, B8. Under the B7, B7. And we have a caller. Okay. Valid bingo on B7. B7. So we accept the letter X for B7. That is the last number called, B7. So after this, we'll be continuing on those same colored cards for a blackout and 52 numbers. And our tuning number is B1, and it has not been called yet, so we'll be looking for it in game 3 in our blackout and 52 numbers, or less. And we have both phone lines now open to receive your calls. Both phone lines are open. So far we have one person that's called in and is a winner. 30 more seconds. And for the third and final time, the phone lines are open to receive your calls. Not hearing any further calls, I declare this game closed, and we will move on to the third game. I'll block out in 52 numbers for 7,967. And our winner on the Big X was Shelby Gillies of Neepwa, purchasing the winning card at NACTV. Congratulations to Shelby. Okay, blackout in 52 numbers or less for $7,967. Your next number on those orange colored cards is under the 064. 064. Under the 071. 071. Under the 072. 072. Under the I-16, I-16. Under the B10, B10. Under the N41, N41. Under the I-21, I-21. Under the 073, 073. Under the 065, 065. Under the G59, G59. Under the G48, G48. Under the B3, B3. Under the G54, G54. Under the I-25, I-25. Under the G52, G52. Under the G49, G49. Under the N45, N45. Under the B1, B1. Under the G53, G53. Under the I-29, I-29. Under the G50, G50. Under the G58, G58. Under the O61, O61. That is your 50-second number, so we will pause here for 2.5 minutes, and our tuning number B1 was called just shortly. So the tuning pot will be growing. And our Blackout 52 numbers jackpot may be growing too if we don't hear anybody calling in. And the phone lines are open to receive your calls. Another minute. Phone lines are open to receive your calls. And for the third and final time, phone lines are open to receive your calls. Not hearing any calls, I declare this game closed and we'll move on to the consolation round. Still looking for a blackout on those orange colored cards. Next number is under the I-30. I-30. Under the I-18. I-18. Under the B9, B9. Under the I-28, I-28. Under the O68, O68. Under the I-23, I-23. And we have a caller. It's pretty quick. Seven five one seven. 068, one number back. Okay, we have a valid bingo on 068, one number back. 068 is a valid bingo, but one number back from the one I just called. So not that one. That's flashing up there, but 068 is right now the valid bingo. We have somebody else on the line. Okay. Oh, I forgot what I even said. What did I say the last number was before? It was not I-22. I-28? How far back are we? Two numbers back. Okay. We have a valid bingo on I-28, which is two numbers back. So the first person that called in is no longer a valid bingo, I believe. So I-28 is now the number that we have for a winning bingo number. I-28. Two numbers back. Okay, and we do have a phone line that's open now. Both phone lines are now open to receive your calls. We have both phone lines open. Another 30 seconds to go. $20. And for the third and final time, the phone lines are open to receive your calls. Not hearing any further calls, I'll declare this game closed, and that'll wrap it up for tonight. Okay, our winner on that blackout consolation was Donna Sharrock of Neepawa, and purchased the cards at Kinsman Courts too. So, wrapping up for tonight, our winners were, on the Bonanza Consolation, we had two winners, Jim Pollock and Rhonda Cutler. Jim purchased the winning card at Kinsman Courts 2, and Rhonda purchased the winning card at Rocking Animal House. On the Big X, we had one winner, Shelby Gillies of Neepawa, purchasing the card at NACTV Station. And the Blackout Consolation was won by Donna Sharrock of Neepawa, purchasing the cards at Kinsman Courts 2. Congratulations to our winners, and thank you all for playing along with us tonight. We couldn't do it without you. Have a great week.